I know we're past Halloween, but if Disney Channel can still stream the Halloweentown movies, then we can still talk about Halloween. Plus, who wants to watch Thanksgiving Disney Channel original movies, if there even are any?
Disney Channel's Oktoberfest is back.
I kinda feel like Disney Channel Halloween movies had a little more staying power anyway. I mean, why else would they play Halloween movies in April?
It's Disney Channel's Halloween in April week.
Every year you'd get a marathon of Halloween movie classics, and Halloweentown was one year at the top of the list for me. You just sit down and watch it every time it was on, to the point where the movie promos get stuck in your head, and 20 years later they're just useless quotes living in your brain.
Halloween is cool. Powers? What powers?
Oh, being normal is vastly overrated.
Plus, there were only like 3 channels to watch for kids back then, so you really didn't have much of a choice. I really haven't revisited the movie since then, so I went into this wondering if it was still any good or if it was just the rose-colored lenses of nostalgia clouding my judgment. So let's revisit Halloweentown and see if it still holds up. We start out with an ominous intro. Ooh. R.I.P. Debbie Reynolds. It quickly transitions into the Halloweentown theme. This song still goes hard. It's definitely an earworm. It was written by Mark Mothersbaugh, who you may remember from such quirky theme songs like the Rugrats and Pee-wee's Playhouse themes. Halloweentown is the coming-of-age story of Marnie, who just found out that she comes from a family of witches, and she ends up in the magical realm of Halloweentown that is filled with real supernatural creatures. Marnie is played by Kimberly J. Brown, who also starred in other Disney Channel original movies such as Quince and the other Halloweentown movies. Except for Halloweentown 4, but we don't talk about that one. Marnie is now 13, which is common in these Disney Channel original movies like Xenon, Smart House, and more obviously the 13th Year. That makes sense though, that's their target audience. Marnie and her siblings aren't allowed to play in any Halloween games thanks to their mom Gwen, who is super against Halloween, much to the dismay of Marnie and Sophie. Dylan on the other hand doesn't care for Halloween.
I mean, that whole razor blade and the apple thing was an urban myth, of course. But then all that candy causes cavities and gum disease and
Dylan is the know-it-all brother who sides with his mom Gwen most of the time. More like kiss his ass a la Randall from Recess. Gwen and her anti-Halloween rhetoric pretty much got through to him. Here we see a family photo of the kids with their now deceased dad William. Judging from how they look in the photo, he probably didn't pass away too long ago. According to Marnie, mom and dad met on Halloween. We then see Grandma Aggie arrive on the scene in Miss Frizzle fashion. It seems like no one in this universe has the ability to tilt their head up a half inch to notice the magic school bus. I mean the Halloween bus. Again, no one's around to see any of that?
Oh, come on. Suit yourself.
Get it? Because it's a suitcase? Back at the house, Sophie's trying to sneak in a cookie before dinner. Mom says no, but somehow that cookie still tries to make its way over to Sophie.
Are you eating the cookie?
Oh.
Grandma finally shows up at the house and brings the kids presents. Aggie wants to talk to Gwen about Marnie finally turning 13 and about some things back home. They start to argue, but Gwen puts an end to it and asks Aggie to go tell the kids a bedtime story. But she tells her not to mention home, aka Halloweentown.
Your home, I mean. Oh, don't worry, dear. I won't tell them a thing.
5 minutes later.
My story is about a magical place where many different sorts of creatures live together in peace.
like Cleveland. I hear they have a nice school district.
Oh yeah? Which one out of the 93, Dylan? Huh? Boy genius? What a stupid ass blanket statement. Sorry. Aggie starts telling the kids the story about Halloweentown, going against Gwen's wishes. As they look through the book, Sophie points out a young witch that looks similar to Marnie.
Look, it's Melanie.
She doesn't look anything like you. She's way too cute.
Dylan, brother man, please stop. Gwen interrupts story time and tells Aggie to go back to her country. I mean, let her know the bus home is almost here.
It's getting late. You wouldn't want to miss your bus back home.
Grandma has to go?
Back downstairs, Aggie and Gwen continue arguing. Marnie eavesdrops and finds out that she's a witch on the verge of losing her powers if she doesn't begin her training.
Finally be human. She'll finally be normal, like her brother, like her father, and like Sophie will be after her.
When a human father.
Whoa, Aggie, that's racist. Gwen's mad because she thinks Aggie's here to corrupt her impressionable little 13-year-old mind with witch nonsense, but she's actually there to ask for Gwen's help.
You're wrong about why I came here tonight. The fact is, I came to ask for your help.
See, the movie tiptoes around it, but I keep getting racial undertones. This whole situation would be like if, hypothetically, my grandma got mad at my mom for not teaching me Spanish. ¿Por qué no le enseñas español? And then my mom would be like, pues aquí está en los Estados Unidos y va a usar inglés. Again, hypothetically. Anyway, moral of the story is, embrace your roots, don't be like Gwen. I mean, how cool would it be to tell all the other kids that you were half Halloween? Aggie senses a disturbance in Halloweentown where the residents of the town are turning malicious and evil before disappearing altogether. Gwen chalks it up to her neighbor simply moving away and she refuses to help Aggie.
Bury your head in the sand of that precious mortal world of yours. Perhaps the Cromwell line will end with you.
Marnie goes to tell Dylan about what she just heard, and of course Dylan doesn't believe her at all and claims that all the Cromwell women are insane. Guess he stopped being a little ass kisser when his mom's not around. Marnie sneaks out to follow Grandma back to Halloweentown and Dylan follows after her. They both end up on the bus and go to Halloweentown without Aggie noticing. Oh, and Sophie snuck on too. Aggie goes up ahead and the kids then lose sight of her and have no idea where she could have gone. The kids are then greeted by Wally Winka. He introduces himself as the mayor of Halloweentown, Calabar, with a K. Just ignore the Disney Plus subtitle spelling. Well wait, but they spelled it with the C in the intro. But they spell it with a K in the sequel? Well, what about the ending credits? Alright, I'm gonna stick with the K spelling, that's what I remember. I don't know if I uncovered some Mandela effect shit, but let me know if I'm wrong. The kids tell him that they're Cromwells and Calabar immediately gets excited and asks about their mom. Calabar offers to help them find their grandma with the help of Benny the taxi driver.
Howdy, Mayor. What's the rush? I'm on my lunch hour. Play it fast. Ah, just kidding.
Benny's basically a cross between a skeleton and Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Kiss your mom with that face?
Benny drops the kids off at Aggie's place only to find that the door is locked. Marnie tries to tap into her powers to no avail.
Powers? What powers?
He said the line. Luckily, Sophie's untapped cookie telepathy magic comes into play and she turns the lock into a frog.
Ribbit.
The kids convince Aggie not to take them back to the mortal world right away. Using the witch's glass, the Cromwells get a glimpse into what the bad thing is that's been plaguing Halloweentown. He kinda looks like the zombie from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Props to the costume and makeup team. If you were able to create something that resembles a Courage villain, then you know you got something scary on your hands. Aggie whips out a talisman and tries to activate it in order to fight off the bad thing. After all, magic must defeat magic.
Magic must defeat magic.
This is the same talisman that Merlin used in the mortal world to end the Dark Ages. However, they're unable to get it to light without some key ingredients for the spell.
Rat.
So the kids agree to help Aggie go get them in town. Even bitch-ass Dylan.
Alright.
Back in the mortal world, Gwen finally finds out that the kids are missing and curses her mom.
Mother.
Aggie gives the kids some background lore on Halloweentown, including the origins of Halloween and how us mortals culturally appropriated it from them. She also tells them about the Dark Times, a period when humans and creatures lived together. Out of fear, the humans attacked the monsters and creatures, and this would create a back and forth clash until the residents of Halloweentown took their stuff and pushed it somewhere else, and thus the world of Halloweentown was created. Kinda dark when you think about it. Speaking of dark, the kids' dead dad met their mom at a Halloween party. According to Grandma, Dad loved that sexy witch costume. Wonder if that's part of the reason why Gwen is so anti-Halloween now. Who knows? Just outside the closed movie theater, the Cromwells run into a somewhat familiar face. Aggie goes to find Calabar to ask for his help.
I think I have an extra sundae. Oh.
I would not eat that. Calabar apologizes to Aggie for not taking her threat seriously much sooner, but asks her to hold off on doing anything for 2 days before he can help.
Just 2 days, that's all.
Meanwhile, Marnie's run off to the broom dealership. With the help of the Elvis Presley ghoul salesman, she settles on a broom. I wonder what Grandma's racist ass thinks of a creature dressed up as a human for once. Huh? What's up, Aggie? Local prototypical bully Luke shows up. What, you couldn't tell by the black clothes, chains, and bad boy hairstyle? He tries to hit on Marnie, but crashes and burns so badly that even Dylan starts ragging on him.
Perhaps another time.
Yeah, like never.
I know, I was surprised too. He walks away embarrassed and threatens them, claiming he has some powerful and dangerous friends.
Oh, that Luke dude? He's turned into such a wiener.
You know, he might have been only in the movie for like 2 minutes, but Elvis School has to be one of my favorite characters in the entire movie. Aggie and Marnie go for a test flight on the new broom.
All you have to do is want something, and then let yourself have it.
Aggie sounds like she's got a bit of a buzz going on. Maybe she's tapping too much into that witch's brew. Better be careful she doesn't get an FUI. Marnie has the time of her life just in time for Gwen to arrive on the scene to rain on her parade.
I don't think so.
And I tried to stop Mom, but they hypnotized me.
And I thought you were brave.
Hey, this is Mom.
Well, Dylan's redemption arc was short-lived. Gwen puts her foot down and tells everyone they're going back home. Or so she thought. The bus back home is down, so they're stuck in Halloweentown. Dylan suggests that they go to the mayor for help again. Hopefully he doesn't tell them to wait 2 days. Gwen is surprised to find out that the mayor Calabar is actually one of her exes. Calabar, thinking with the wrong head, is still very much in love with Gwen, offering to show her around before Calabar's secretary interrupts with a message.
Somebody's on pins and needles.
She's kinda thick.
She kinda bad though.
More cushion for the pushing, know what I'm saying? Anyway, Calabar has to leave to handle some other problem, but promises to help once he's done. Luke finds Aggie by herself and mentions his powerful friends again, but he also reveals that he knows about her plan to use Merlin's talisman and the spell, so she hears him out. Luke offers to take Aggie to go finally meet his friend.
Why is he hiding? Why doesn't he reveal himself?
See, that's why I'm here. He wants to reveal himself. See,
you.
Hey yo, pause. Back at City Hall, the family notices Aggie walking with Luke and they assume she's in trouble.
Look, Grandma's going somewhere with the wiener dude.
Luke ends up taking Aggie to the old closed down theater where she finds Harriet and the rest of the missing Halloweentown residents. The big bad monster finally reveals himself and tells them that all the creatures are frozen in time until he needs them, and wants Aggie to give him the talisman.
The talisman!
Never!
Aggie refuses to hand it over. The monster tries to freeze Aggie, but Gwen pulls the ultimate sacrifice and jumps in to take the hit. It doesn't even matter though because Aggie is then frozen right after. The kids manage to run away and escape the theater. The monster can't leave the theater because it can't stand the light. Marnie and the kids then return to their original task of gathering the ingredients: the hair of a werewolf, the sweat of a ghost, and a vampire's fang. First up is the werewolf. They conveniently find a hair salon where a werewolf was working. To be honest, he looks a little bit more like a cat from the face. If it wasn't for the Steve Carell level of body hair, I would have never thought he was a werewolf.
Oh, we're gonna need more wax!
Marnie distracts him while Dylan goes in to get the hair of a werewolf. God damn, Dylan, you just needed one single hair. Oh well, I can't say I'm mad at it. That boy needs to let loose every now and then. Plus, the werewolf didn't seem to mind his new hairstyle.
This could be a good look for me. Yeah, baby!
Brother, how the hell are you seeing any difference in the mirror if you cut the back of your head?
The back of your head is ridiculous.
Then they go to the gym to find a ghost and they manage to find one in the steam room. I like how no one is making a big deal about a bunch of kids in the locker room with grown-ass monsters. I guess a ghost is technically a super old man, and you know those guys get way too comfy in there and have no shame.
Would you get a grip? He can't sweat. He doesn't have a body.
Look, Dylan, if a skeleton can have facial expressions without skin, a ghost can sweat. Plus, wouldn't the existence of ghost energy drinks imply the existence of ghost sweat? We're trying to overcome preconceived notions over here in Halloweentown.
Hey, kid, I don't appreciate stereotypes like that, all right?
This movie is so progressive.
Sure. Make fun of the transparent guy.
Over here combating transparent phobia. They manage to get a bead of ghost sweat off his nose and then they run away. I feel like they could have just asked the werewolf and the ghost nicely for those two ingredients instead of shaving the werewolf's head or cooking the ghost. Last on the list is the vampire's fang, and where do you find one? The dentist, of course, and in broad daylight. That's right, we keep challenging those stereotypes. The kids don't actually have to trick anybody here and they just let the dentist do his thing. Why did I leave this in here?
Wow, look! That didn't hurt at all!
Maybe that's because your tooth's still there. Back outside, Benny Raccoon Rocket shows up with his taxi and offers to give the kids a ride to Aggie's house, but he's got a more aggressive attitude this time. Sophie says the bad thing has taken over him.
Come on, get in. I gotta go. Get in the car.
Benny grabs Dylan by the collar, but Sophie makes the save with the help of a dog. I'm not gonna lie, they did a really good job with Benny. Like, I'd be shitting my pants if I were Dylan. I'm assuming this is an animatronic, but I feel like this holds up better than, let's say, the CGI skeletons in Spy Kids 2. And that came out 4 years after this. Back at Aggie's house, Marnie puts the ingredients together, but forgot the spell that her grandma recited. Luckily, witch child prodigy Sophie remembers the spell because she made a song for it. They both try reciting the spell, but still no luck. Then Marnie remembers some wise words from her drunken grandmother.
Grandma says...
Remember, licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets.
No, not that.
You just have to want it and then let yourself have it.
So then they put a little more stank on that spell and they finally get it to activate.
You did it, you guys. It's lit.
They head back to the theater and see that Gwen and Aggie are still alive, but the talisman still isn't reacting to anything.
Grandma said something about installing it.
When did she say that?
If I can get it lit, install it properly, it should suffice to drive away this force that threatens us.
Oh yeah. So Marnie assumes that she needs to put Merlin's talisman in the pumpkin and light it up, considering how mortal Halloween traditions were imitations of Halloweentowns. Luke returns and stops Marnie before she gets to the giant pumpkin. He has a change of heart and tries to apologize for what happened to her grandma and mom, claiming that the bad thing was going to let Aggie go in exchange for the talisman. Suddenly, the sky goes dark and cloudy and the bad thing finally shows up to address the Halloweentown residents. He tells them the time has come to take back the mortal world and seek revenge on the humans for exiling them. Oh, that's what you meant by reveal yourself. So yeah, the mayor of Halloweentown is actually the bad thing that's been plaguing it. Calabar calls on the creatures to look for Marnie, the half-human, since she's the only one left threatening his plan. Calabar spots Aggie's robe in the crowd and goes after Marnie. Except it's actually Luke disguised as Marnie. Meanwhile, the real Marnie has just reached the pumpkin. Right before she can install the talisman, she gets frozen by Calabar. She suddenly hears the nagging voice of her mother in her head.
You are my wish. Yes, I am. Thanks to you.
There's nothing that motivates a teen more than spiting their parents. Through the power of pettiness, Marnie manages to drop in the talisman right before passing out. The talisman lights up the pumpkin and everyone frozen by Calabar's spell is freed. Aggie and Gwen meet up with the kids again. Calabar reveals that his motives behind his plot were because he was salty about losing Gwen to a human. And Calabar, brother, you mean this all could have been prevented with some post-nut clarity?
You are putting the pussy up on this pedestal. You're just building the pussy up, man.
He had to have been waiting at least 15 years for this. Maybe that witch outfit really does work its magic on men. Calabar manages to pull the talisman out of the pumpkin.
My darkness will spread unchecked.
Pause. Aggie tries one last spell to fight off Calabar. She finally gets what she's been waiting for the whole movie, some help from her daughter. Dylan then in a fit of rage pulls the old why I oughta and gains some warlock powers. Together the entire Cromwell family joins hands and they're able to defeat Calabar. Marnie and Gwen make up and apologize to one another. Marnie goes to thank Luke for helping them. Luke goes full goblin mode and tells Marnie that he helped Calabar because he used a spell to make him better looking. Marnie gives him a kiss on the big ol' schnoz, but unfortunately Luke doesn't have a Frog Prince moment here. We end the movie with Gwen asking Aggie to come live with her family in the mortal world, and Maggie gets excited at the thought of continuing her training with both her grandma and mom. So does it hold up? I don't want to give some kind of scientific breakdown. After all, it's just a kid's movie. It'd be pretty stupid to expect some Christopher Nolan level of storytelling from this. So let's just keep it simple and answer 3 things. Is it entertaining? Is it distracting? Is it cringy? I rewatched this with some friends and some of the memories just kept getting unlocked. Was it scary? No. But why would you expect to get scared by a children's Halloween movie when most PG-13 horror movies can't even do it? I will say though, Don't Look Under the Bed did freak me out as a kid, but I still think Halloweentown is one of the top Disney Channel Halloween movies. Each of the cast brought their own special energy to their characters, especially Debbie Reynolds. The plot was really easy to follow and was enhanced by the music and visuals. Speaking of visuals, number 2, is it distracting? When it comes to the effects, is there really anything that shows the age of this 1998 movie? Honestly, I don't think so. I went into this expecting to see at least one special effect that would just take me out of the movie, but I think it's aged well. If anything, maybe the green screen broom flight scene wasn't the crispest, but where the movie really shines is the costumes and makeup. I don't think they tried being overly ambitious with some of the effects and monster designs. With a $4 million budget, I think they really went all out to make some of these creatures really stand out. And finally, number 3, is it cringy? Does it fill you with secondhand embarrassment of less than appealing trends of the late 90s and early 2000s? Again, I was expecting at least one bad joke from this movie to make me wince, but I can't remember a single one. Even Benny the Skeleton taxi driver, who's known for telling bad jokes, wasn't guilty of this. Like, they could have easily made a Funny Bones joke, so props to them for not taking the low-hanging fruit. In fact, there really aren't any super dated references in the movie at all, keeping it a timeless classic that can be rewatched whenever. Compare that to some of the other Disney Channel movies of the time that felt they needed to put an obligatory dance scene with some 2000s boy band pop. Don't get me wrong, these are some of my favorite Disney Channel movies, but they are guilty of having some moments that made you want to flip the channel. Maybe I was just a stupid little snot-nosed preteen boy at the time, but I remember the majority of us hating on boy bands, so this was cringy to me even back then. So my final verdict is, yes, Halloweentown holds up. Go watch it on Disney Plus if you haven't already, or go revisit it to remind yourself of how old you truly are. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like me to go over Halloweentown 2 or any other Disney Channel original movie. I have so many favorites that I have fond memories of.
Skate better.
Skate better. Come on, skate better. Well, there.
And for more nostalgic content, make sure you subscribe to my channel and watch one of these videos. I'll see you over there.